everybody. Welcome. I'm Howie Howard from Mr. Furious Records, and today on Dat Fury Radio, friend and returning guest Cory Kibler has a question for me. What's going on, Cory?
Hanging out with my dog, Mildred.
Hey, Mildred.
She's an old lady.
Sweet
anyway,
babe.
I'm thrilled to be here. Thanks for having me back.
If you're subscribed listeners on YouTube, you got to see Mildred for a second. That's very nice. One of the bonuses of subscribing on the YouTubes.
Yeah.
So you've got a question for me. What are we going to talk about tonight?
This is a simple one, but I think it's really fun to think about and talk about. You're going to make an album with a collaborator. Who is your dream collaborator on an album, and what would that process look like in your ideal world?
I love that. You know, I've thought, I love making like fantasy supergroups, but I've never placed myself in one. I've always just thought about, you know, who would the drummer be? Who would the bassist be? That kind of thing. I want somebody with a different skill set and a different mentality. Oh, okay. So this isn't, I mean, this is going to be my real one, but the conversation is going to be so short about it. I'll do another one maybe.
Yeah, you can do as many answers as you want.
Sure. No, my real answer that we probably won't talk about for very long, but is my number one for sure real answer is Chris Cornell.
That's cool. I wouldn't have guessed.
For his vocals.
Yeah.
I would love to write the music and have him sing. And of course he writes music as well, and obviously collaborate on the music too, but to have that voice, which sadly, you know, isn't possible, of course, to have that voice around to work together with, yeah, that would be crazy. While I think for a second, do you have an answer for yourself?
You know, up until like 20 minutes before we started talking, my answers were all people whose like songwriting I really respect and whose songwriting process I'd like to learn from. So like a Paul McCartney or a Brian Wilson or an Elliott Smith or somebody like that would be really, really, really cool. And I think that'd be awesome. But the more I think about what that collaboration would look like, it would probably look like me watching them do their thing or something like that. I think Paul McCartney's a little bit more collaborative. I think he does that. But I think that all of those people are so like single-minded about their songs and how they want them to sound that I don't know how collaborative it would actually be. So then I thought, what if I picked someone who was, like you said, a different set of skills, right? So like if I picked someone who was like super versatile and could play a ton of different genres and instruments or something like that. And this is going to sound crazy because it sounds weird to me, but I don't know if it's this person, but someone like Bruno Mars.
Sure.
Because, so he's a great singer. He's a super good pop songwriter. He plays the shit out of drums, bass, guitar, piano, all those things, right? And it would be really interesting because he's used to working with several other people on songs, on records. Right. Like he's really talented, but it's not just him. It's like him and a whole bunch of people putting together these like immaculately crafted pop records or something. And it would be amazing to try and like do music at that level. And by that level, I mean like the perfectionism involved, which is not, that would be a huge challenge for me. Cause I'm so proud of myself when I'm willing to do 5 takes of a vocal track. You know what I mean? I'm like, God, working hard for the money. But, you know, like if they're making a record, you know, they're playing the same songs over and over and over and over again. And I know maybe that's less true now with like Studio Magic, but all the articles I've read and interviews that I've read of Bruno Mars, which is not a ton, but it's enough to know that he is he'll arrange a song in a style with certain instrumentation, and then he decides he doesn't like that take on the song, so he'll completely scrap it and then be like, I want it to be a power ballad, or he'll be like, I want it to be a reggaeton dance hit or whatever. So he'll have a song and then he'll try out different like approaches or something like to it, and that fascinates me. That's not something I've ever, like, anytime I've ever written a song, like, there is a vision there, even if I don't know what it is until I reach it. There's like a vision for how it's going to sound. I've never written a song and been like, oh, that should, like, maybe that should be a ska song, you know? Like, I've never thought about it that way. So
that makes me. So what I'm going to say is impossible on a practical level, impossible to imagine on a process level, but it makes me think of Prince and like. There's so many layers of hypotheticals here, but like, what if you had that level of artistry to collaborate with
right, there are no limits.
Song. Yeah. Just for whatever reason, I guess with your I can't say it. Somehow through magic.
Yeah.
Prince wants to make a 50-50 record with you, you know.
That would be, that is such a good, because like Prince is the exact type of person I was thinking about. Like with Bruno Mars was just the first one that came to mind. But I know you're a Prince fan, and he's right. He's exactly the same. He played everything so well. He loved making music. He was so good at it.
Endless imagination, just idea after idea after idea.
Yep. And so like probably it would be fun. Like you might be in the studio for like 16 hours one day, just messing around and come up with like 3 minutes of actual usable audio, but it would be like the most fun, experimental, weird, freaky, like, I don't know. That'd be super cool.
So I think my secondary answer might be Jay Robbins. I obviously love Jawbox and all his other bands. I love his production. I love the sound of his records. So you get access to a sound that I really like. I mean, he has a very live sound, but it's one notch more polished than like Albini or something, which I think is. I love them both, but I think it would be fun to have access to that. And I would love to kind of learn. He's almost everything he's done is more angular, to use an overused term, but like is more angular than my stuff. And I'd love to kind of learn how to incorporate that and how he comes up with that stuff and be able to blend and start incorporating that into my own music, because that's something I don't really do much. There's actually a couple Howie and Scott songs that are at a very coarse level, kind of weird and angular like that, but
I think so. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to Jay Robbins's stuff, because I know Jawbox a little, but not that much. So that's another one I wouldn't have guessed. Like, has he collaborated with people before? Do you know? Is he a solitary kind of songwriter?
No, I think he's moderately to fairly collaborative in the different bands he's been in. All of which are great. His recent, and current solo, he put out a record last year that's incredible. And he's done a lot of production, but I don't know if he's done a lot of like the kind of. I think when he produces, it's more in the Albini mold of like, I'm capturing what the band is doing.
Oh yeah, sure.
Not a whole lot of like executive production and having a lot of influence necessarily on the sound. And so that's why I think he'd be good for this fantasy collaboration, because I want both. I want him as a musician and songwriter, and I want the production side.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah. That's neat. You don't hear about too many. I mean, seriously, outside of like Steve Albini, you don't really hear about too many producers who are not trying to get their finger into the pie, so to speak. And I feel like even with producers that are pretty hands off, or that, yeah, exactly. I'm a businessman. I have multiple fingers in multiple pies. That's just how my It's just how my life goes.
That's pretty much how the economy works, right?
It is. Fingers and pies, baby.
Dipping digits in pies.
Here's the thing. I need the biggest fingers and the smallest pies. I don't know, man. I'm going to move on, I guess. Here's another one that I just thought of, and it's something that it's one that I've thought of before, and I can't believe I didn't think of it first, but I would love to have someone like George Martin, or what's his name, Van Dyke Parks, or John Bryan, somebody like that, who could okay. So I love, I don't know how many people would agree with me on this, but I happen to love the Beatles. I love their records. I love their songs. And I really do think that for a lot of some of their, like, the best music is like directly George Martin, because the songs are good, but what they did was they wrote a song and then they stripped out all of the, not all of, but a lot of the straightforward instrumentation or something like that, default instrumentation, and then left a lot of the strings and stuff that he did, right? And it's cool to listen to a song like Eleanor Rigby and realize it's just Paul's vocals, and background vocals and stuff, and then George Martin's string arrangement to it or something. It's so cool. I think it would be so awesome to have a record such that, like, it's pop songs with pop vocals and all that stuff, and you don't even realize that it's like mostly or wholly orchestration, just because the songs are so catchy or something like that. There was that Fiona Apple record, Extraordinary Machine, and she recorded 2 versions of it. She did the first version with John Bryan, and for some reason it got scrapped. I don't know if it was her or if it was the label, but for some reason they shelved it, and she did it again with someone who, I forget who it was, and that version was good too, but it was totally different. It was like more like trip hop production or something. But the John Bryan version was incredible, and I'm so confused about why they didn't, whatever. But that's like the perfect example of something that I would love to do sometime, just like my very simple songs elevated by someone who's a lot brainier when it comes to music.
Yeah, I love all those picks for you. A couple of vintage ones, John Bryan for more modern. And honestly, this is a callback to last week's episode, but that question about this is Dream Logic, but go with me for a second.
I love Dream Logic. Let's do it.
That question about what is the next Wilco record if you like Yankee Hotel Foxtrot, the answer might be John Bryan's version of Extraordinary Machine.
Yeah, totally. It is really good. Like, it's so powerful. He did such a wonderful job. And also, I'm just a sucker for strings and like orchestral stuff. Like, you'll have to forgive me. I forget what the name of the song is.
Happy Birthday.
Yes. No, that's it. Our listeners familiar with Barney, on Fight Songs, the song where you had Scott do the orchestration for you.
The big one with
yes.
That is just called Fight Song.
Okay. Yes. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's so good. Because you said, Scott, like, I'm going to do something like Nielsen, right?
My kind of reference mood board thing was a little touch of Schmilson in the Night.
Right, which is awesome. That's exactly the kind of stuff. Like, I can't imagine a band I like putting out a record with that kind of vibe and me not liking it. You know what I mean? I think I'd just be thrilled. I just love Baroque pop so much. It's so good. I'm a sucker.
Let's do a couple hip-hop ones, and I will start. So of course, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I hope it's not too much of a fantasy, but I'd love to do an album with Approach.
Oh, yeah.
And we both make beats. I don't rap, but like someday putting it out there, that would be amazing. But for the fantasy side, I think Dell would be amazing.
Ooh, dang. That's a good pick.
That also gives me a chance to shout out. I've recently discovered his Manic Mondaze Substack, and he puts these songs on YouTube. He's putting out about 2 songs a week with a ton of collaborators. But he's just like having people over and making songs all the time. He's been doing it for a couple of years now. So I'll link to that YouTube channel. If you subscribe to him on Substack, most weeks you get an extra song. And they are downloadable if you want to download and put them on your phone or something. So I'm still working through the back catalog of that, because I discovered the YouTube channel sometime like this summer, I don't know, a few months ago, and then I only recently discovered that there was a Substack that goes with it. But that's actually going to be definitely on my best of the year list, is Del the Funky Homo Sapiens Substack.
Hell yes.
But it is so good. They're putting out incredible stuff every week, and he's done so much over so many different styles and everything, and his roots and his history and the spirit he kind of brings to everything. I think he'd be really fun to work with.
I'd be so stoked to hear a Howie 404 like hip hop record with Del over it. That'd be like, it's like the styles match up perfectly because it's kind of old school, but like not standard old school at all. Like your 404 stuff is like really like, not like, I don't know, it's just like out there. It's like weird in a cool way.
Yeah, I think I do a lot of live bass, but definitely do it on the 404 and add weird stuff on top of it.
Man, the hip hop collaborator one is hard because, so on one hand, I would love to do, like, that'd be so cool, right? If we're talking fantasy dream world, it'd be so fun to be like to rap on a track with another rapper that I really like. But it's hard because most pretty much any rapper that I really like would absolutely annihilate me. So I'd have to like, maybe I could pop in and go, yeah, he's
quack.
Yeah, quank. something like that. That would be, I don't know, but it would be really, really cool to work. I mean, there's so many like beat makers that would be super fun.
Yeah, who would you want beats from? Maybe.
Oh, one person I was thinking of is DJ Newmark from Jurassic 5.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, that would be super cool. I mean, of course, it'd be super awesome to do something with like LP's beats. That would be super fun. I like any. I like it. I like old school kind of jazzy beats. I know that like it would have been if in a different timeline, working with like 2004 era Kanye would be be cool, but not in this one. But like that sort of like soul, like funky soul kind of oldies Motown kind of production or something like that would be pretty sweet. Man, that's a good question. Yeah, I've never been like, man, I wish I had a Dre beat or something like that. You know, I'm not. It's really cool, but it's not my.
Yeah.
Not my thing.
No, it has to fit.
Yeah.
I think I found maybe one collaborator for you and I that bridges you and me to kind of wrap all this up. Maybe unless you have something.
No, what is it? Let's hear it.
That's Mary Timony from Helium and X-Hex and Solo Career.
You've sent me her stuff before.
Her song, she has kind of this Baroque thing sometimes that kind of goes with you. I mean, okay, here we go. You, me, Mary Timony, and Van Dyke Parks.
Oh, that would be awesome. That would be so cool. Okay. I'm looking it up. We have Helium. Oh, Autoclave. Wild Flag. And yeah, X-Hex.
Oh, I forgot about Wild Flag. I haven't listened to that record in a long time. I should give that a spin.
Oh, that's neat. I remember, this is just a random ass thought we can totally cut out. But I just remembered, I remember thinking when I first heard Be the Cowboy, that Minsky record, thinking that I would love to do a record with whoever produces her records, because they're like, the instrumentation is so like all over the place, but it just works. And like there's a huge like variety, which is not often the case on most records like that. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm gonna have to like dig into Mary Timony. I don't really know much about her besides I think I've heard some XX and Helium.
Okay. Those are kind of the bookends. Her solo album last year or 2 years ago was really good too. Kind of X-Hexy. Kind of a perfect... Her most recent solo album is kind of the halfway point between X-Hex and her previous solo albums. It's actually a really... That would be a great starting point, actually, is whatever she put out like last year. Be the Cowboy was produced by Patrick Hyland.
Okay.
Long-time Mitski collaborator.
Okay. Yeah, I figured it was like not like I knew it was someone that she knew or that she was buddies with or whatever. Like I remember, I think I looked it up at the time and I'd never heard the name and I was like, oh, okay, it's not Rick Rubin or anybody. It's like someone that she's done music with for a long time. But I think the production on that record is so cool, like jarring, but not in a unpleasant way, I guess. Like listening to that record is a lot of musical surprises for the first, like when you hear it for the first time or when I heard it for the first time, I was like, oh, that's cool. That's super interesting. And it totally works.
Sweet. Yeah. That Mary Timony record is called Untamed the Tiger. It came out last year.
I'll listen to the hell out of it.
Really, really good. And yeah, I already described it. Well, I think this is a good episode, Cory. Do you have any other dream fantasy collaborators you want to mention before we sign off?
Oh, Dame Helen Mirren. And that's it. That's all.
Fair. Want to mention your socials or anything you've got coming up besides life?
Oh, gosh. I don't know when it's going to come out, but Michael and I, my friend Mike Papani and I do music under Van Ripper and Galactifader, and we recorded some songs like a year or so ago. I went out and visited him in LA, and we've got some songs, and we're just starting the mixing process on those, and that usually goes pretty quickly. So we'll have some music out soon, but you can check out our current music on Spotify or anywhere you listen to music. It's Van Ripper and Galactifader. You'll find it. It'll be there.
I will do some links, and we need to get Mike on the show at some point.
He'd be super down.
Definitely when that comes out, but also I think we talked about doing a Mike like career retrospective up to this point. He's a working musician.
Yep.
Incredible drummer.
Oh, this is cool. I was on the Ventura subreddit, and somebody was asking about your favorite bands of all time from Ventura, and there were at least 3 people who said Sexual Jedi. Which was
a throwback.
Yep, Mike Papani and a guy named Derek Jennings who played music in The Return and a few other bands or whatever. But they were like a weird speed jazz,
kind of prog.
Yeah, prog
instrumental.
For sure.
Yeah. It'd be fun to talk to Derek too.
Yeah.
But talking about potential future guests is not great pod, probably. So we'll leave it there. Let the listeners go. We appreciate you, listeners. Next week, and I don't know what the show will be, but next week, depending on how you count, will mark 1 year of Dat Fury Radio. I will presumably have done it. Got an episode out the door every week for the year. And we just plan on keeping rolling. Lots of good stuff in the works. And excited to talk to some new folks and some new new folks and some old friends in the year to come. We got to finish the Mr. Furious celebration, ongoing for over a year at this point. We'll have our best music of the year. I've got a good start on my list. That's too early for anybody else to be thinking about that, but I've actually really enjoyed it. I've been listening to too many podcasts and not enough music, and this starting on my list has brought me back into balance a little bit.
Good.
So that's been a healthy thing in my life. But have a great week, and we'll see you next week on Dat Fury Radio. Good night, Mildred.
Good night. Arf, arf.